Hear me?
Y'all should be able to hear us now, right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hear me?
Oh, I got it on.
Y'all should be able to hear us now.
Sorry, fellas. We had some technical difficulties going on. We had some technical difficulties going on there for a second. What's good, everybody? We good now. We good now. We good now. We good now. Woo! This is where it begins, man. This is it. All right, so we got. I'm echoing. Hello?
Hold on. That might be my issue. Are you echoing because of me?
Yo.
Yo.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
All right, so how many people are in here? We got 13. We'll start when we get to 20 because I don't want to be repeating the same thing over and over. So we had 26 people respond, so we should have at least 20-something people in here.
Steve-O, me, Willie, Birdo, Weeks.
All right.
Birdo, Shane.
Cutting ties for all my friends. Okay, we got 20 people in here. All right, we're going to start explaining this. Again, if for whatever reason, if you got to step out, you put your phone down and you miss a part, we're going to explain it one time. It's going to be a clean video straight through. We're not going to like break it up and keep restarting for people who join because it's just too hard to stay on track. And I don't really want this to be an hour long. So 21 people in here now. That means we're missing like 10, 11 people. So let's go ahead and get started on kind of breaking everything down on how we did this. And where's Timu Steven is crazy. And how we're going to, pick teams and everything. So obviously you guys see the leaderboard. This is the all-time leaderboard for CFB 26. There are a few people that are not on here. Obviously Ant is not on here. So we'll explain how we use Ant and Trey in the tier selection. We just did our best guess on where we would put them. But we broke it down into tiers. So I'm going to read off the tiers.
We did change the tiers up from the last video a little bit.
Yeah, we changed it
because we found a bigger gap between 2 and 3 versus 1 and 2.
We also changed the tiers after we saw the beta because we saw some stuff on the beta that we could have made adjustments to. So I'm going to read off the tiers. So tier 1, which is we'll call it tier A, just so it's a little bit easier to know the numbers. So it's going to be Steven, Pelf, Brandon, Beesh, Fred, Sterling, Trill, Willie, and Justin. So those 9 users are going to be tier 1. So if you know, that's tier 1. The next tier is going to be the next tier is going to be Franco, Kyle, Westside, Red, Mike, Christian, Berto, Bryce, and Ajami. That is tier 2. So there's going to be 4 tiers. So that's tier 2. Tier 3 is Mead, Mondo, Dane, Q, Zach, and Rayshawn Caraway.
And then the addition of Trey and Ant.
Franco, you are not in the same tier as Trill. You are in tier 2. Yes, and then Ant and Trey are in tier 3 as well.
I'm trying to say that because he's like 5-1 against fucking Trill.
Oh, gotcha. No way I should be tier 1. Well, we went off of the all-time leaderboard. So if you look at the all-time leaderboard, it's pretty apparent that certain people are higher than others. I mean, the only argument that we have is between Justin and Franco, but Justin has a national championship, so that's why we were able to bump him up.
And not only that, whenever we were looking at trying to, because you'll see later on in live show when we're breaking down these tiers, the gap between Willie, obviously Justin won a national championship. Willie beat me and Pelf in the same bracket or playoffs. He beat me in SEC championship. He goes on and beats Pelf. Those guys outside that he named, they're not as consistent as the competitive nature of the 4 users as it is tier 3 and 2. So we combined tier 1 and 2 together and eliminated a tier altogether. So there's no more tier 5. It's just 4 tiers now. So that's kind of our reasoning behind add in the other 5 to the us 4.
And then tier 4 is going to be Fresh, Leo, Fredo. Ant is in tier 3, so he's not down there. That's the old Ant, anyways. That's not the new Ant. So Fresh, Leo, Fredo, Weeks, Shane, and Camp. So that's going to be the tier 4, which is the bottom 6. So the reason why it's important to know your tiers, which we'll post in the announcement tabs, all the tiers. But the reason why that's important is because we're going to go over what teams you're able to choose when you're in that tier. So we're going to go over all of that before we even spin the wheel for the order. So that way you kind of know. Now, this is all a rough draft because we did this based off the beta. So if they come out with something completely different in the actual game, we're going to have to rework all of the tiers and the teams that are available. But assuming that they won't, this is what we're going to stick with. Is there anybody that has any questions of what we kind of went over so far? Please let me know. So 4 tiers. So from Justin and up is tier 1. From Franco to Ajimi is tier 2. From Mead to Rayshawn Caraway is tier 3. Fresh and down is tier 4. So if there's no questions on that part, I'll move on. I'll give you a couple seconds because I know sometimes it's a little bit delayed, but.
And everything we talk about in this live show, especially when it comes to like these teams that y'all are going to see, it could change. So remember that. It could change.
All right. No questions? I'm going to move on then. Okay, so. Oh, wait. Also, before we talk about this, so the way we're going to select tiers, at least the way we're going to select teams, the good users, when I say the good users, I mean from tier 1 to tier 4. If you're a tier 1 user, you're going to pick your team first because you're going to have a lower, pool of teams you can choose from. You're not going to be able to pick Boise State and Memphis and the good teams. You're going to have a smaller pool to choose from that are worse teams. So the tier 1 users are going to pick first. Tier 2 users are going to pick second, and then tier 4 is going to pick, and then tier 3 is going to pick. So tier 3 is picking last. And we'll explain why we did it that way, obviously, as we go. But because the tier 1 users, there's 9 of us, when we do pick teams in tier 1, let's say the first 3 picks are Steven, Pelf, and Brandon, and they all go to the Conference USA conference. No one else in tier 1 can go to Conference USA. The maximum amount for each tier in tier 1 and tier 2 per conference is 3 users. So that way, all 9 of one tier goes to, one conference. And then it's just a bloodbath where the top 9 win percentage users in the league are all playing against each other. And then one user who, let's say Franco, is in the Mountain West, and he's playing against the bottom 10 users in the league. So that's how we're balancing out that portion. Yeah. So in tier 1, and that's going to suck because if you have pick 4 and you're looking at a specific team and they're in the Mountain West, for example, and picks 1, 2, and 3 pick Mountain West teams, you can't pick the team you want in the Mountain West. You got to go somewhere else. So it's all going to be dependent off the wheel spin, obviously. So we'll see how that goes. But are we going to announce a pick, or is it going to be a secret like last year? No, we're going to go in. We're going to have a live show, which we'll announce at the end of this. We already have everything drawn up. We're going to announce that at the end of this. But we're going to have a live show that's going to be an hour and a half long, and you have to be in here to make your pick. If you're not in here, we're going to give you guys 3 to 5 minutes to pick your team. If you're not in here, you're going to get skipped. And then you're just going to pick at the back of the line if you're not available. So we're going to give everybody a month in advance. So just letting you guys know. Everybody's going to know
more towards the end.
Yeah, we'll explain it later, but it's not going to be in 2 days. So you have a long time to figure out and prep how you're going to make yourself available on that day. You don't have to be in the show, but you just got to make sure you're available to answer a text or a phone call. Because if we can't get a hold of you and it's your pick, we're just going to move on. We're not going to do the whole take 3 or 4 days to pick teams. That's just, it doesn't make any sense. Brandon, do you have anything to say before we move on to the next slide where we're going to actually start announcing the teams and stuff?
To speak on the conference here, we got a lot of y'all didn't play the beta. If y'all know, they added something new, which is the budget. So we can't, if we move a team from one conference to another like we did last year, it raises your budget and it lowers your budget. And a lot of what y'all are going to see later on this live show has a lot to do with budget, prestige, teams, conferences, stuff like that. So that's why you see the max per conference. We don't want there only be one user in the Mountain West. It's a balance here, and that's kind of what we're going for because we can't create the big 3 or nothing like that anymore.
Yeah, so just that way everybody's aware, cycle 3 of BYL is going to be completely different. We're not relocating at all, realigning at all. The only team we're going to realign is UConn because they're independent, so we have to move them somewhere. So we'll figure that out. But every other team is staying where they are. So there might be one conference that has 8 users. There might be one conference that only has 3 users. And that's the good part about the tier 1 users picking first is tiers 2, 3, and 4 can kind of strategically pick where you want to go and avoid certain players or certain users. Not sure if I missed it, but since there's a max per conference, is everyone random order now? No.
No.
Like I said, if you guys join late, just go to the beginning and rewatch if you guys want. I don't want to keep restarting, but just restart from the beginning. We still haven't really explained anything as far as that goes. So
yeah, we haven't really explained that. We're just kind of giving the new breakdown and kind of the shit y'all seen the last live show versus now.
So yeah, so there won't be any realignment. So there's going to be some conferences with more than others. That's why we're having a max as far as tier 1 and tier 2. Like Brandon said,
there's a good balance of like the teams that are available for each tier. Like each conference has their own like prestige level in the game, and it kind of limits people who can grab certain teams. So even though there's like 7 or 8 conferences, there's still going to be a lot of balance in between. We won't see a conference with 1. Hopefully, the lowest we will see is like 3.
Also, to add on what Brandon was saying about the budgets, if you guys didn't play the beta, essentially what the budget is you're not just loading up, putting your hours on recruits and playing your game. Like you have to upgrade facilities. You got to use the budget to spend NIL, to manage your staff, hire and fire your staff, all that type of stuff. So every team, so like a team like Mo State, for example, has like a 500 point budget to start off with, but a team like Boise State has the most, which is 4,300. So they have nearly 10 times the amount of points they can spend to upgrade their facilities, for NIL, for coaches, for perks, all types of different stuff. So the way we broke it down is the really good teams are going to go to the tier 4. The really bad teams are going to go to tier 1 to kind of balance it out, to make it harder for the tier 1 users to build up. So again, there's no real criteria, so to speak, that we use. We use the backbone to figure out the teams, but there's also certain situations where we had to kind of make exceptions for certain teams. Like, for example, UNLV in real life is a very good team, but they're on the bottom as far as dynasty point budgets. So they could have been in the tier 1 users, but I think all of us in here will agree that you give a 80% higher, win percentage person, a UNLV team, they're going to turn that team into one of the better, programs. So there's certain one-offs that we used. And again, we'll explain as we go. But kind of to go over tier 1. So tier 1 users, again, are Steven, Pelf, Brandon, Beesh, Fred, Sterling, Trill, Willie, and Justin. These are the teams, the tentative teams that are going to be available for our bracket. So these are teams that, let me pull up my message. And I know Brandon has it listed a little bit different. So Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, if I speak incorrectly. Tier 1 users are 1,200 and below point budget. So they can't have more than 1,200 budget points. 1 star and below, so they can either use a 1 star, a half a star, or a 0 star. No Texas, California, or Florida teams outside of Sam Houston. So Sam Houston is available because they are so bad that we made them available. It's an exception we were talking about.
The same with Sac State. And it's just because the 1,000 rating. You can just use a 1,000 rating or whatever.
Yes, because Sac State has 2 pipelines and they're a 0 star. So that was the criteria we made for tier 1 users. So anybody from myself to Justin Strickland, you'll be obligated to pick a team in this bracket. There's 24, meaning there is a plethora of teams to choose from. If you have pick 9, you're basically picking 1 of 14 teams, which is still really very good. I also want to put out here, though, this is all tentative. If they come out with the game and some of these teams are way better than what they were in the beta, or if you have some of these other teams that were really good in the beta, but now they're bad, then no, you cannot use them. So like, for example, everybody understands, I said this multiple times, I wanted Hawaii bad. In the beta, they had 1,400 points. We made it to where 1,200 points. So unless they somehow move them down to 1,200, they're not going to be available. Or if a team like UNLV, for example, has 1,300 points, but they have an 80 overall, we're going to bump them up to tier 3 or tier 4 or whatever, wherever they're at, we're going to bump them up. So they are still going to move, but this is kind of the rough draft we're using. We want to keep it this way, but it may move. So if there's any questions on, let me know. Brandon, also let me know if you want to add anything before we go to the tier 2 teams.
Yeah, I'm going to add a tier 2 team because if they did play the beta, it's going to throw them off. Gold pipelines. If you see a team on here that has a gold pipeline, they are a half a star or worse. And it's not Texas, California, or Florida. And then when it comes like UTEP is like 1,000 rating, they have a silver pipeline, but they're above like they're 1 star and they're above that 1,000 rating that we had on the little chart. So you'll see some teams on here that are really bad in point wise, which is like ODU. Like there's no tier 4 pipelines available to us. The only time that we're allowed to use a gold pipeline if they're rated a half a star or 0 star. Like Akron is a 0 star team, but they have a gold pipeline, so we're allowed to use them. But we cannot use, for an example, Florida, FIU, they have 2 gold pipelines and they're 500, like they have like 500 something points. It's just a recruiting hotbed. There's an advantage to being in Florida, California, and Texas. Sam Houston has like 500 hours and their shit is like bronze. So, and they only have like 3 pipelines. So there's definitely a criteria when it comes to like how we picked Sacramento State and the Sam Houston, that we'll, if it won't be on the live show, but we definitely like have it all typed out and stuff like that. So I figure that's going to be questions in the future because you're going to see some really bad teams on this next slide.
And again, so just want to make sure everybody understands, like, the whole purpose of doing it this way is because we wanted to have it to be more competitive. Obviously, that's the goal every year, every cycle that we've been through. Cycle 1, we had 2 or 3 national champions. Cycle 2, we had 5 or 6 or something crazy like that, national champions. We just wanted to keep going that way. Obviously, we're not going to get 11 seasons, 11 different national champions. That's almost impossible. But as long as everybody's competing and we have more people that are in the playoffs, more people that are pushing to, win rings, it's not fun when one person wins all the rings. Like it's just not fun. So that's why we're trying to make it to where, the top users win percentage wise are having to start, 10 yards back in comparison to, some of these other guys, which I think is going to have a competitive balance. So again, I'm going to list off the teams. I'm going to read them just so that way you guys know the teams. Again, I know you guys can see them, but yeah. I'm gonna list them off as well.
They need to hear them too, because this motherfucking shit's gonna get bad. Wait till you hear UMass.
So these teams are Akron, Kent State, Sac State, Delaware, Missouri State, Kennesaw State, Sam Houston, South Alabama, North Dakota State, University of Louisiana Monroe, Jack State, Georgia State, Buffalo, Ball State, New Mexico State, James Madison, UMass, Eastern Michigan, Liberty, Coastal, Middle Tennessee, Charlotte, Arkansas State, and Western Kentucky. So again, I think that's 24, and there's only 9 of us. So again, we are going to be picks 1 through 9. So we are all picking first, 1 through 9, but we can only choose from these teams. So I know people are going to be like, why do you guys already get 1 through 9? All the other teams we can't even pick. So if you have pick 10, you're able to start a little bit higher than us. You could still dip into some of these teams, but you're going to have another group of teams that you could go through, which we're going to talk about. So just to kind of get into tier 2. Tier 2 users again are Franco, Kyle, Westside, Red, Mike, Christian, Berto, Bryce, Ajami, and we added Ant here. So Ant is in tier 2. So again, these teams, I'm going to list these teams. App State, San Jose State, Louisiana, Central Michigan, Miami, Hawaii, Nevada, Georgia Southern, Texas State, UTSA, Wyoming, UTEP, ODU, Western Michigan, Ohio, FIU, UAB, Temple, Northern Illinois, New Mexico, FAU, UConn, and Bowling Green. So again, that's like another 24 teams or 23 or 25, something like that. And also, I'll go ahead and count it again. There's only 10 users in this bracket. So if you have pick 10, you're still going to have 12 or so teams or 10 or so teams to choose from on top of whatever teams was left over from tier 1 users, which I don't anticipate a bunch of you guys dipping into those teams because they're bad, especially after the first 9 pick. But the reason why we're doing it this way is that way we're making sure the top 9 users in the league are getting the worst teams. And then the tier 2 users get a better selection. And then if they want to dip down into the lower ones, they can, but I do not want to advocate that because again, the whole purpose of this is that way we're staggering it. So that way it's from win percentage down, the teams get progressively better. So that way it kind of handicaps the higher winning percentage users. Brandon, do you want to add anything else?
No, I think most of our talk is going to come in the next few tiers. So,
but I also want to say though, some of these teams that you see on this list, again, like me and Brandon are saying, they can change.
They can change.
Like for example, one of the teams on this list, so like I know like Hawaii, I know Miami, Ohio,
Bowling Green,
like some of those teams can drop down. Then you have a team like App State or FAU who could possibly bump up. They probably won't, depending on how egregious the game is and the differences they make. I don't think we're going to change these, but we don't know if, because the beta didn't have real rosters. So if they add the real rosters and now UTSA is an 81 overall team or 80 overall team or 79, whatever they were last year, they're not going to be in this tier. If the rest of these teams are 70s.
Isn't UNLV in this bracket too? I know they're not on the list, but.
You mean in tier 2?
Yeah, they were like a. Like they were like 1,000, and I took them out of ours.
I don't know. We'll see on the next tier, because if not, they're on tier 3, which is whatever. Again, this is all tentative, but moving on to tier 3, I don't see UNLV on here. So
UNLV was on tier 2. They have 1,000 points. They're a 1-star team, and they have gold Southern California. That's why they wasn't available to tier 1, but they are available to tier 2. Now, if somehow they come out and they're a really good team, they're 80-something overall, like Steven said, they'll go up more. So right now, UNLV is in tier 2. And if anything changes with them, they'll go up to tier 3 team. So
I'm just gonna go ahead and go add them right now while we're talking about it, so that way people who go back.
Does anybody got any questions about the first 2 tiers? Again, if y'all didn't play the beta, there is a budget thing. There's a lot, like, budget matters. Whether it's off season, you get an offer. It goes with NIL. It goes with upgrading your staff. It goes with upgrading your program and facilities and shit like that. We're at 1,200 and below. The tier 2 is at 1,500 and below, and I think the next tier is at like 1,500 and up, and then after that it's like 2,200 and up. So, and then there's Boise State that has like 4,000 points compared to somebody that I'm be able to pick that has like 700 or 800 points.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm adding in there right now, y'all. I just don't want to not add it in and they don't end up getting picked because we weren't paying attention or whatever the case may be. It's kind of tacky, but that's all we needed just to make sure they were in here. So let me delete this from the studio and bring it back in.
I already knew Franco was going to go to UTEP. Even if UTEP was down in our shit, he was going to try to dip down and grab him. But, I mean, somebody might steal him from him. I wouldn't say too much.
It's not loading. So what we'll do is I'll just share my screen instead. View, slideshow, boom, 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 boom. Boom. Okay. So, like I was saying, that's the teams there.
Yep.
All right. And then. Okay. Tier 3. Mead, Mondo, Dane, Q, Zach, Rayshawn Caraway, and Trey. So these teams are going to be Army, Oregon State, Colorado State, Rice, North Texas. Actually, before I read that, let me give y'all the criteria of this, because this is where it gets a little bit more dicey. So, tier 3 users, they have to use a team point budget of 1,500 or higher. So if you're tier 3, you cannot pick any of those teams that we just named. You're not allowed to pick any of those tier. You can't pick any of those. The reason why is because I don't want somebody in tier 3 to go pick North Dakota State, and now they're 0-12 to start off their BYL 27 career. So no, we're not. If you're tier 3, you have to use these teams and up. So, well, really, it's all of these. It's not even an up. It's all of these.
Because this is
these are the remaining teams. Yeah, these are the remaining teams. So this is who you have to select from. Nobody else. You have to select from this group of teams.
You can't use Tulane again, but you'll see. No, never mind. They're right there. Yeah, you can't use Tulane again.
But tier 3 is 1,500 points and higher. Obviously, teams located in Texas, California, and Florida with 1,300 or higher are eligible. So you can use these teams. Fresh, I don't know what you're saying for. You haven't even been named yet. So just wait a second. Yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna name the teams. Army, Oregon State, Rice, Colorado State, North Texas, San Diego State, ECU, Memphis, Texas State, Marshall, Toledo, Navy, UTSA, Washington State, Boise State, Tulsa, Tulane, USF, Utah State, Troy, Southern Miss, La Tech, Fresno State, Air Force, and San Jose State. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 teams in between 13 users. So just letting you know that's, and I'll explain what I mean by that. But Again, tier 3 users are picking last. So this group of people are picking last. Tier 4. Team 4 users have to use a team budget of 2,200 or higher. I'm going to switch the screen in a second. Let me just explain this. And they have to be a 2-star or better. Okay, so
No. Well, good thing he can't use them again because he'll
he can't
probably
use them
do
again.
some fuck shit again. But you'll see.
But it doesn't matter
Because they are.
So
here.
tier 4
They
users
have
are
like $3,000.
Yeah, Fresh, Leo, Fredo, Weeks, Shane, and Marquise Camp. So those 6, you can only choose from these 10 teams. So you guys are going to have like picks 19 to 25, I believe, somewhere around there. But all these teams will be available for you to pick. And you have to pick one of these teams. So if you have the first overall pick, you get to pick from any of these 10. Or first pick from your bracket, you get to pick any of these 10. If you have the 6th pick, you're still going to have 4 good teams to choose from. So, and the reason, again, I know whoever gets pick 6 is probably going to be pissed. Like, I'm going to be honest, if Leo gets pick 6, he's going to be mad that he can't go choose a different team. And I understand that. But at the end of the day, if we say, Leo, go get whoever you want, and you go pick Buffalo, which you picked Buffalo before, I'll just use an example, and now you have really shitty teammate grades, you have a half-a-star team, and you have one of the worst budgets in the game. You're setting yourself up to fail. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to set these users up to succeed in this type of environment, which is an entirely new, different dynasty format. It's not just load up and recruit. All of these schools have pretty good pipelines, if not really good pipelines. You're going to have way better teammate grades than everybody else. You're going to have way more hours than everyone else. And you're likely going to have a way better overall team than everyone else. Not only that, a lot of these teams are either in the Pac-12 or the American Conference, which means you're going to have higher conference prestige, which in turn, if you do good enough in this conference, you're going to get a job offer. The reason why that's important is because the tier 1 users, there's no teams in the Pac-12 that you could choose from tier 1, and there's only one team that you could choose in the American Conference tier 1, meaning any of these guys that you choose, likely you're not going to have to play the tier 1 users in conference. So, and to respond to Josh really quick, he said Tulsa and Rice are good. I also want, me and Brandon had like a 30-minute conversation about it. I think when you're looking at teams like Tulsa or Rice and you compare them to UNLV or some of these other teams we already named, we're thinking of them in 2025, 2026. We don't know what the roster is going to be like. There's a reason why they have Tulsa and Rice up here with these guys. There's a reason for it. Now, obviously, again, when the game drops, if it's just wacky and like Tulsa shouldn't be here, then we'll bump them down. But based on how many points they had and their teammate grades, for whatever reason, Tulsa is a hot commodity this cycle. And we're not going to give, a tier 3 user who could pick last, Tulsa, and then somebody like, Weeks or Leo get stuck with, UNLV, who we think of them as the UNLV of years past, but in reality, they only have 1,000 dynasty points, and Boise State has 4 times that amount. So we're just going off of the game that we're given. Obviously, if the overalls are different, we're going to start to change things. But again, these 6, Fresh, Leo, Fredo, Weeks, Shane, and Camp, you have to pick from these 6 or these 10 teams. All of these teams are going to be good. They're all going to be really good programs. So does everybody make sense? Does that make sense for everyone as far as, where you can and can't pick? Again, tier 3 users. How do I go back on this? Tier 3 users have to use any of these teams. So just to explain, tier 3 users, you're picking after tier 4. So 6 of these teams are going to be gone when you pick. So I would assume Boise State's going to be gone.
Boise, I'm going to say it now. The Boise State should be the number 1 pick in the draft. They have 2.5 stars and they have 4,000 points. That is a lot of points compared to somebody that has 500 and he can't even buy fucking a recruiting specialist.
So tier 3 users
points matter this game, and that's kind of why you see Tulsa here, because Tulsa has 2,400 points, and I'm a big advocate for USF. I think USF should probably be on this list, which they might be on the list when the game comes out. But USF only had 1,700 points, and these people have 700 or 800 more points than USF does. That's a better financial situation. Now, I know the recruiting hotbed matters. They also 1.5 star, and on the other list, The only 1.5 star team on there is Washington State. The rest of them are all 2 stars or 2.5. And I think 4 or 5 of them are 2.5 stars. So, which gives you more hours to recruit. Obviously, they might change up the overall stuff like that, where you might see. But I think Washington State and Oregon State are such high in budget because they kind of just that conference prestige and stuff like that, which obviously helps you out.
Oh crap! Hold on. My headset died. Hold on.
You are able. What? That's all. You didn't draft Boise State. You came in late and you grabbed Boise State. So if I had to guess, you probably can get them. But that's something that we'd all have to talk about. You hear that, Steven?
Say it again.
So Shane.
Oh no. Yeah, Shane, you can't use Boise State again, bro. If you use him,
he didn't draft
26,
Boise State.
Yeah, but he joined with them. It's the same thing.
Okay, so no, you cannot use Boise State. So.
Okay, Alberto said, why is Tier 1 picking first? So the reason why Tier 1's picking first is because Tier 1 can only choose from this group of teams, and it gives everybody after Tier 1 the strategic advantage to pick where they want to go. So if I go to I'm not going to use North Dakota State because I'm not going there. If I go to Kennesaw State, for example, right? If I go to Kennesaw State, then everybody who picks after me knows Steven's at Kennesaw State, or Brandon's at Kennesaw State, or Pelf is at Kennesaw State. And if, for example, let's say I can't beat Brandon. Like, for whatever reason, I can't beat Brandon, or he has my number, right? If I know he went to Kennesaw State and I'm between two teams and one of my teams is with his conference, I'm just going to say, I'll go to the other conference. I don't got to worry about him. And it's not duck and smoke. I think last year what we did was we said, okay, well, we're all going to secretively, make our picks so nobody could run from anybody. This year, the whole purpose is to handicap the best users.
Oh, I know what he's saying.
What?
He wants to know why Tier 3 picks after Tier 4.
No, he didn't say that.
No, he did. He said, why is Tier 1 picking first, but Tier 3 is picking after Tier 4?
Because Tier 4 has lower win percentage than Tier 3. So instead of just saying, these are the 10 teams that Tier 4 can use, right? So let's say the 6 teams off the board are Navy. I'm just going to go from left to right. Navy, Washington State, Tulsa, Rice, San Diego State, Fresno State. So from Fresno State to the left are all picked. But then Army, Oregon State, Boise State, and Tulane are not picked. If we were to do it to where Tier 3 picks first, then all 4 of those teams wouldn't even be able to be used. That's why. Because we need to make sure that the lower tier users are getting the picks first. But if we say, okay, Fredo, go pick Boise State. Okay, Weeks, go get San Diego State. Zach, go get Washington State. Shane, go get Oregon State. And then we have all these users. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if we have all these users who are in the bottom 25% of the league stacked up in the Mountain West, then I get to pick. And I'm like, ooh, San Jose State's open. I'm going over there because I see all the bad users are over there. And when I say bad, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just in comparison to the win percentage. I'm going to go over there because it's going to be an easier road for me. So now when you have the users who are better than other users picking first, now the bottom users are able to say, I don't want to go here or don't want to go here because I don't want to play A, B, or C. So that's why. Fresh, you know what I mean. I'm not.
It's data, man. It's
you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's the reason why we're picking in this format. So Tier 1 will pick first, so everybody knows where Tier 1 is. Tier 2 will pick first, so everybody knows where Tier 2 is. But then Tier 4 is going to pick first because they need to be able to select from the elite G5 teams, and then Tier 3 will pick last. So even though, go ahead.
So basically, Tier 3 is playing like a cleanup crew because if you go back to Tier 3, like these users, like obviously Q, like I ain't gonna lie, Q pissed me off during the tournament. He's solid, but fucking. He like the rest of this group here, he might be an imposter himself. Like this group here is not like head and shoulders better than Tier 4, so this is kind of playing like a cleanup crew. We're giving Tier 4 the option to pick these same teams. Like, well, there's a few of them missing. You give them a chance to pick those first, and the other guys that barely have, like Rayshawn, I think is like a 46 win percentage, and there's somebody in the other bracket that's like a 45. Like it only separates them by 1%. And I think even Trey, when Trey was here, like probably was in the other bracket himself. So like this group doesn't separate themselves from the other group that much. So we give them this, like it's basically like a cleanup deal. Like you can go, like you have the option for these teams if they're not available. But we want the other group to pick first. And I know all the other tiers can strategically move around, but the last one, like Tier 4 can't strategically move around tier 3. And that's because like we just don't think that they're that big of a competitive gap between them.
So does anybody have any questions before we spin the wheel to figure out the order? Let me know now, please. While I make this notepad thing.
Where's Willie ass at? Willie, Stilo, Justin. I want pick 1. I need it. I need this shit.
Okay, let me pull this down for a second. Escape. Okay, so
I need you to pick last, man. Be honest with you.
Okay, so what we're gonna do first. So how we're doing this is we're gonna spin the wheel for each tier. Okay, so we're gonna start from tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. So this here, so you're not gonna know your actual pick until after this is actually we'll do it before everybody leaves. I'll put the whole thing together.
Yeah.
But I can't tell like if we're gonna spin this, but I don't like if you get the third pick out of this bracket, I don't know what exact pick you have. But I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because if you get the number 1 overall pick in your bracket, especially in this bracket, you essentially have the number 1 overall pick. Like there's literally. you get to pick the best team. So that's just this is we're gonna go in reverse order though. So we're gonna go from 6 to 1. Just letting y'all know. This is not the number 1. This spin is not the number 1 pick. We're going to reverse order. So this is for tier 4. So we're gonna figure out. Pick. Yeah, we're gonna figure out the selection order for tier 4. Okay. So I'm gonna shuffle it. Are y'all? But oh no! Before we get started, bro. Before we get started,
type in the chat like
I'm saying we need. We got 22 people in here. Everybody type in the chat BYL 27. And we need it. And then we're gonna kick this off. And I'm gonna type it myself too, bro. BYL 27, bro. BYL 27 in the chat, man. Let's go, man. This is what we came for. I've been waiting 3 weeks for this. All right. We got 22 people in here. So this is, I'm gonna shuffle one more time. So right here. So this is the 6th pick of tier 4. Here we go. Shane. So Shane, and again, Shane.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna give his team out, but I think Shane's in a good situation, just off what Westside said earlier.
So again, Shane, you have the 6th pick.
Last pick.
But you saw the 10 teams. Well, no. Yeah, the last pick. You saw the 10 teams. So we're gonna go Shane here. So
as long as Fredo don't get the number 1 pick, I'm fine, because he will find a way to fuck up and pick the worst of those 10. Just don't get Fredo top 10.
Okay, so that's Shane. Pick 5 of tier 4. Fredo.
Thank you.
That's nasty, bro.
Thank you. And I ain't gonna lie, Navy has the 2nd most point budget in the game, like out of all G5 teams. They have like 37 or 3,800 points, and that's 2nd most out of all G5.
All right. So, next up,
it's not a bad
pick
team.
4. Marquise Camp.
I kind of want to see Weeks get the number 1 pick.
Did Marquise Camp have Washington State at the beginning of the cycle? He did, didn't he?
No, yeah, he did.
So he cannot go Washington State. All right. Pick 3.
I don't want to see Weeks get number 1 pick. Nope.
Yeah, no, he's good. Fresh is pick 3.
If Leo gets a free copy of the game and the number 1 pick, that is absolutely fucking disgusting.
Weeks has the number 1 overall pick.
Shout out to fucking Weeks, man. You deserve it. Took fucking New Mexico.
And I do want to say this. Oh, I just closed the wrong wheel on accident. Did I? No, I didn't. I do want to say this. We are not doing
the wrong wheel.
What wheel did I close? No, I didn't. This is tier 3.
Yeah.
This is tier 1, and this is tier 2. Yeah, we're good. We're not doing this thing where like If Weeks wants Boise State, cool. But we are not picking teams until that live show. And again, I will explain that in a second. So we're not going to do like pick. We're not doing that. So we're just letting y'all know. All right, we're going into tier 3. So again, this is going to be reverse order. So this here is the last pick in the draft. I'm just letting you know. So this, I know what this pick is.
This is the last pick of the draft.
This is the last pick of the
32.
draft.
Pick 32. Give me Mondo.
Q.
He deserves this shit. He deserves that shit. He deserves that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. You deserve that.
That's nasty, bro.
Go find Ohio Bobcats. Get
That's
them
nasty.
motherfuckers playing like the Buckeyes.
All right, that's Q there.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
You're still gonna get a good team, bro.
Yeah, he is.
Ant, newcomer.
Wait. He was on the
tier 2, huh?
Tier 2's thing.
So that doesn't count then. So we'll just move on then.
But I told him he was in tier 3 when he joined. So where do you want to keep him?
Well, if you told him that, he's gonna stay in tier 3 then.
Yeah, it's tier 3 Ant. Let's go.
All right.
He got ram railed anyways. He might not be like a fucking Franco.
Mead.
He did beat Stevens season 1. He just needs to lock in and get his recruiting in because he's obviously a good user. He ran the bracket with Ohio State, and then he also had a lot of success in year 1 last year. He just needs to be able to recruit and stuff like that. Do your recaps. Zach. Glad to see him off the board.
Yo, you are a hater, bro.
Glad to see him off the board. I'm really going to be a hater when we get to tier 1.
Mondo. And then I will list the entire draft order here in a second. Trey.
We might see Q have one of the biggest jumps in BYL because he obviously struggled data wise. And
hey, this might be Dane's year.
Yeah, it is Dane's year. Shout out to Dane.
That's a big time pick.
Shout out to Dane. Was that the 7th pick?
He has a 7th pick, and he can choose from any of those teams that are left on the board. So that was Dane there. And then we're going to this one. All right, so matter of fact, I can kind of put together the order now. Copy.
Dane at USF would be pretty tough, not gonna lie. You gotta think Memphis was in there. North Texas was in there. USF was in that bracket. Dane could land at a really good school. You'll be good. There's that bracket of teams is solid. With that pick, you would probably get like a who would he get with the last pick? Like worst case scenario.
Who?
Q.
North Texas, like teams like that.
Yeah,
you're still gonna get a good team, bro.
Really good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're still gonna get a good team.
There's no loss in these 2 brackets.
All right, so this is gonna be the last pick of tier 2.
Who we got?
Mike Jones. Next up, Red Smith. Which he's been MIA, huh?
No, he's in here.
Oh, he is?
He was saying Leo for president a minute ago, wasn't he?
Okay. Next up, West Side.
West Side.
And I'll be able to give the list from 10 on after this, and we'll do that before we roll the other ones. Kyle. The reason why I'm going fast is I'm gonna read the list off here in a second. So that way y'all know what y'all pick. Y'all have. I have it all written out already. Franco.
I still think you'll be able to get him because there's people going to be going after FAU as well.
And FIU is so bad on that damn budget list, bro.
Bro, they're like 500 points, half a star. But they got 2 gold pipelines.
Jimmy.
Bryce is in a hunt, man.
Oh, man.
I ain't gonna lie, these are probably not looking at it weird, but like these are probably like some of the three best
Christian.
guys in this conference or in this group in really good picks. Bryce with the number one pick.
Nah.
Berto. Shout out to Berto, man.
Okay, so I'm going to now name picks 32 through 10, so you guys know where we stand. So from 32 down, it is Q, Ant. Wait, why is Ant there?
He picked.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Sorry, I threw myself off. Q, Ant, Mead, Zach, Mondo, Trey, Rayshawn, Dane, Shane, Fredo, Camp, Fresh, Leo, Weeks, Mike, Red, Westside, Kyle, Franco, Ajami, Christian, Bryce, Berto. So that's going to be picks 10 through 32. So Berto has picked 10 and on. Now we're going from 9 to 1, baby. 9 to 1.
This is where the money's at. I can't come off the list first, bro. I'm already sweating. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want Pelf. I don't want Steven in front of me. I don't want them having any kind of control of like picking a team in front of me. So as long as I'm like after them, I can have fucking pick 8 as long as Steven has Zane in front of me.
That's disgusting, bro. All right. Pick 9. Here we go. Pick 9.
Please don't be me. I'm getting off the show if it's me.
Beesh.
All right. We alive. We alive.
Beesh has pick 9.
We're live.
Pick 8.
We're live. Oh, we still live.
Justin Strickland.
I ain't gonna lie, my heart's starting to race a little bit.
Pick 7.
Fuck!
Brandon Morgan.
That's some bullshit, dog.
He's sick as a dog.
That's some fucking shit. Dog, I'm sick right now.
Brandon, talk to me. What's your thought process now? Like, obviously, don't give no team away. But what's your thought process? Like, where do you go from here? Put us in the mind of Coach Morgan here.
Next question, bro. Just keep this shit going. I'm sick right now.
Pick 6. Fred.
He just survived.
Fred. So I'm good now because I got 5 on my list. I'm good now. We good. All right. Pick 5 here. Willie Beeman.
This is crazy work.
This is amazing.
This is crazy work that they're in the top 4.
Who's they?
You and Pelp, the ones I just got done talking about.
Pick 4. All right, that's me. We can live with that. I'm okay there. I'm okay at pick 4.
Honestly, Pelp got to go next, to be honest with you. At this point, give Stilo pick 1. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Pelf is 3rd.
Get his ass off the list. Hopefully, Trill goes Western Kentucky. I'm letting you know now, you need to go WKU, dog. Get WKU off the board.
Trill has the number 1 overall pick.
Shout out to Trill, man. He deserves this shit. And I don't deserve pick 7.
All right, fellas.
That's crazy.
So I'm going to go through and list the order here.
I'm sick as a dog.
So the order is 1st overall pick, Trill Evans. 2nd overall pick, Sterling. Then Pelf. Then Steven, Willie, Fred, Brandon, Justin, Beesh, Berto, Bryce, Christian, Ajami, Franco, Kyle, Westside, Red, Mike, Weeks, Leo, Fresh,
there's like
Camp,
25 teams on
Fredo, Shane, Dane, Rayshawn, Trey, Mondo, Zach, Mead, Ant, and Q. So that is the order. Again, I will post the order.
If anybody's sick right now, it really should be you too, Beesh. You should be sick. Because you was gonna have to pick before all these motherfuckers. But now you at the back of the line.
Even Justin.
Well, Justin was already in that type of situation. Like Beach, Bama, Pelf, and Steven been at the back of the line. Like we was gonna have first, like they was gonna have like 6 or 7 more picks than we did, but team to choose from. But we just combined them. So if you like Sterling and Trill being up front now, like that's an advantage. Stuff like that. I'm just hurt right now. Hey, let's just say
Brandon is sick as
I'm
hell.
sick as a dog. But to be fair, I did put up 9 teams. I have my list of 9, and UMass is not on there. Just keeping it like UMass not on there. I'm gonna get a team that I want, but I might
Okay.
not get the team that I want. Like I'm gonna get stuck with something like I had him at 8.
All right. Before we head out, I do have one more thing to pull up on this screen before we head out of here. So,
State North Dakota State. Welcome.
do me a favor before I unleash this or unveil this, reveal this. Put a fire emoji in the chat because this is going to be all the information for the team selection show. There's a poster that we're going to post up. Put a fire emoji in the chat for us, fellas. 25 of us in here. Shout out to BYL, man. Shout out to the number 4 overall pick. What Brandon? I'm not gonna lie. What hurts the most for you is that max 3 thing. That's the part that's
literally what I'm hot about because all my teams were in the same conference.
That's the part that's gonna hurt. You're gonna have
to be stuck in the motherfucking MAC.
You got some research to do,
bro. Kennesaw State's like 400 points. Like they were bad. They were on my list, but I might not even be able to go to the conference now.
All right, fire emoji in the chat. All right, here we go. So Brandon blood boiling right now. I'm not gonna hold you. I can tell. I can see it in his face.
I'm hot right now, dog. I got to get my MAC teams together.
Team selection show will be Sunday, July 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be about an hour and a half long show. 28 people in here. Good God. Good work, y'all. If you guys did not watch the whole video, it's an hour long, obviously. Go back and start from the beginning. I'm not answering no questions in the chat. This video covers everything. Unless it's something we didn't cover, you need to clarify. Tentative league start date is going to be Friday, July 17th. The hour-long live show, hour and a half long live show that we're going to do on July 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern is you got to be available. If you're not available, you get skipped. So just letting you know, if you get skipped, then you're going to lose your spot. So Brandon's hoping a lot of y'all don't become available so he can skip y'all.
I'm not really worried, bro. I'm going to beat ass anyways.
The final teams available posted will be on July 8th. So you're going to have at least 4 days to figure out your teams. We'll have the finalized list. Hopefully it's this one. But yeah, man, legacies are built, not given. Make sure y'all lock in.
They're giving to a couple of motherfuckers in this draft. I ain't gonna lie to you.
This is gonna be BYL 27's team selection show. So again, you have a month to figure out how you are going to be in a position to pick your team. This is gonna be Sunday, July 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're not there, you're getting skipped. Again, you don't have to be in the show, but if we're tagging you, if 27 other people are tagging you in that BYO Discord and you're not responding, we're skipping you.
Not gonna lie, there's so many people in here right now, and Josh, you made a good point. If you're like out of town, if you are pick 32 and you know the teams you got to choose from your bracket, you need to go ahead and like that way if you got to get a call or some shit like that, and like you had like here's my list, and I'm on the phone with you saying, hey, no, they're not gonna go, they're no, and then the next team that you call, that's how it'll go because you don't have that much time. So you need to build your list out. You like if you pre-order a game like we did, we get the game 7 days in advance. I'm gonna be using my 7 teams for 7 days. Give them a day to eat. Give them a day each. But you should know who you want by the 12th, and you should have a list like the number one. If you're the number one pick, weeks you know who you want by now. You like it should take you 30 seconds. But somebody that's like Q,
hot right now.
If you're somebody like Q. You might have a longer list.
Is sick.
It's gonna be dog. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's gonna be 3 to 5 minutes for a window.
And I'm not sick that y'all mainly picked in front of me. I'm sick because of our criteria that we have versus like the other criteria. Like I want like the teams that I wanted are in a conference that are going to go off the board immediately. So that's the only reason why I'm sick. Now
this is why But this is why we do it. It's to handicap the best users. This is why we do it, man.
Handicap Bama, like Pelf and Steven in top 3.
Bro, it was a wheel spin.
I get it. Like I said, if somehow somebody y'all just start scrambling around in the conference, which I doubt it, but we'll see. There's still a long time. But most of y'all probably won't put thought into some of the teams that I put thought into.
Hold on. Josh said, what day y'all thinking about making final team tiers? It'll be July 8th. So it's on the poster here. And I'm gonna post this into the Discord, but it'll be July 8th. By Wednesday, July 8th, you will know what teams are where. We'll be able to figure it out.
Which gives like 4 days of
that gives 4 days.
We should have a rough draft before then, though.
Are there any questions from anyone before we head out of here? By tonight, I will post the team selection order as well as that poster. And I'll also post screenshots of the slideshow so you know what teams are available for now. So that way you have record of that as well. Let me know if there's any questions though. Yeah, this is gonna be fun, man. I got 4 bullets basically. I'm good. I'm chilling, bro. We good, bro.
If this motherfucker say something else about his team selection, I'm off this bitch before we even end it. It's crazy. It's crazy work right now.
You know what? When we officially kicking off, the tentative start date is Friday, July 17th.
Or 18th.
So that's
18th. I think.
17th is it 18th?
Friday the 18th, I think.
Okay, Friday the 18th. Yeah, whatever that Friday is, the Friday after Selection Sunday is when we're gonna start. No, Friday is the 17th.
Oh.
Yeah, so that 17th is when we're gonna start. So it gives everybody a couple days to get the game, and rest when we're gonna start. But anything else before we head out? I gotta
go back to tier 1 right quick. Let me look at my let me get a glance, man. I'll tell you if I'm actually straight or not. Go back to tier 1. Yeah, I need to see. Willie already said he was going to Jonesboro. They gone.
That man is cooked.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to find that 17. I had 6. I don't got 7. We all right.
I got my top 4. I know where I'm going.
That's fine.
I know how I'm going. You know where I'm going. You know what time it is.
I'm not actually worried about that team. They would have cracked my top 7, obviously, but I wasn't gonna pick them at 6. I'm not going to Mexico State. I'm looking at 5 teams that somebody gonna get greasy and go somewhere that like Justin is like. Well, Justin's after me, so I can't even like. My hope is not in front of me no more. Because I know Justin ass was finna head on back to Akron or go build Kent State up. I can't go back to Jack State, which they would make my 7. But
and hey, whatever team you started with in CFB 26, you cannot pick again.
Yeah.
If you started with them in CFB 25, you can pick them again. But Justin can go to Akron, I think, because he had Akron.
Yeah, he had Akron, but I'm the only user in here that picked a team in this category last year.
Oh, okay, that's.
And I'm back in this bitch again this season. I couldn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. Like I put myself in this situation last year, and now I'm back in this bitch in worse situation this year. I'm gonna be Mo State. Shout out to Mo State. I might run shit with Mo State.
That don't even sound fun.
It don't.
All right, y'all. This is where we're gonna wrap it up.
Bearcats.
Again, if y'all didn't watch the whole video, if you need clarification, watch it again. Tag us in the chat. BYL's up, man. So the next time we'll go live. Oh, wait. Before we get out of here, I got one more thing I need to show y'all. There are only 22 people in here. Can y'all type in here to tell me who's in here? Because I got something very, very big to show y'all.
Do I know about this?
Yes. Something very big to show y'all that needs to be shown. Type a fire emoji one more time if you in here. Because this right here is heat.
Is this for the next one? Oh, this is like
this right here is big time.
This by far is something like one of the best shit we've like.
This next, I don't know how we forgot about it, but this right here is going to be the best thing that BYL has ever done.
Yes, I agree. This is elite material right here. So hopefully you're still in here. I don't even know how we forgot. We should have probably mentioned that midway before the draft or something.
Yeah, well, we need to know what team everybody gets for one, because we can't do some of that without knowing the team.
I thought it was based off like the history.
I guess that is.
We can like the
no. That's true. That's true. You're right. Okay, give me 1 second. So we can actually do this here soon. Then, if that's the case.
I
Like
thought
the
we were
week.
doing that the week before you went camping.
Well, it depends. That's Father's Day, bro. And a
Well,
lot of people
the
aren't gonna
weekend.
pop
That's
in here on
the.
Father's Day.
I can't even. I have a wedding to go to on Father's Day. Help me.
Oh yeah, this is so heat. All right, everybody that's still in here. So we've done live shows before multiple times. We've done all types of stuff like that. All types of power rankings, live shows. But we've also done preseason shows or preseason shows. So essentially, what we're going to do this year is do a preseason show, but it's going to be very, very detail oriented, and we're going to break it down by user. So if you've been with us for a while, we're going to break down everything. So I'm going to pull the graphic up. You guys can read it as I explain it. But this is fire.
Yes.
So the BYL League 2027 predictions college football prediction show. So in this show, we're going to do this over in the next probably 10 days. We're going to have a slideshow for every user. We're going to go over your win total for the entire cycle. So let's say you play 140 games. We're going to give you your win total on what me, Brandon, and Sterling think you're going to be as far as your win total. If we think you're going to go over 100 or over 110 wins or 40 wins, whatever it is, we're going to go down your user traits. So the three of us are all going to describe you as a user.
Cheeser.
Yeah, so like we're going to describe you as a user to kind of give the new guys and kind of give everybody their flowers. And then we're also going to give you your national championship prediction, how many natties we think you're going to win, how many conference championships we think you're going to win, how many bowl game appearances, stuff like that. Go over all of your past history, so your CFB 25 resume, your CFB 26 resume. Do we think you're going to be up or down in correlation to like your percentage? So if you were a 72 win percentage player last cycle, do we think you're going to go up 5% or down 2%? We're going to go over everybody's. And I think this is pretty fire, obviously, especially the user trait thing, because then you have a way of like, so for example, Weeks is going to have a way of knowing what Steven, Brandon, and Sterling think about his game, and think about his kind of his outcome or his outlook on the cycle. So I think this is pretty dope. Those of you guys who follow my dad and I's YouTube channel, we kind of do like that. We do this for each program every year. So we're kind of doing it for the users. So I think this is going to be super fun. The win totals are going to be really fun as well. So again,
it won't be a lot of it won't be negative stuff. Like
no, yeah,
cheeser and stuff like that. Like for Zach,
yeah.
I might like pre-patch guru. Like he's not good after the first patch. Like I won't actually say that in the show, but we all know like that's how he is.
Yeah, it's not going to be negative. But again, like win totals to me is going to be pretty cool. So
and another thing that he didn't say, we're going to try to make it unique to that user. So we don't like if somebody's shit is like clutch. Like we don't want 5 people's shit saying clutch. It's going to be unique to that user. So we're going to do our best.
So I'm going to give you an example. An example that we have is like rush attack, like something like that. Like everybody in this league know who runs the ball every damn time they get the ball, and that's true. Like that's just what he does. So like there shouldn't be anybody else because he does that head and shoulders better above or more than everybody else in here. So that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be fun. We'll set a date for that. So I'm not gonna post this into the Discord just yet because we don't have a date for it. It might be Friday or Saturday next weekend, to be honest. Maybe Saturday night. It might be in a week.
If it's Saturday night, it'll be like a later show just because I got a wedding to go to Saturday and Sunday.
So, or we could do Friday night, this upcoming Friday, like whatever the case may be, but we'll do it some point this next weekend because the game comes out in, 2.5 weeks. So that's what we'll do. Matter of fact, no, it comes out in 2.5 weeks. So that's when we'll have to do it. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions about this, any ideas you have, but that's going to wrap up the show today. I know there's a lot to unpack. Again, if you missed part of it, go back and watch it. If you have any questions, let us know. What I'm not going to do is go in there and explain in a bunch of voice messages on what we talked about because it's all in here. I tagged everyone multiple times. Everybody knew this live show was happening today. We had
I forgot to text Leo, so sorry, Leo. I told you like twice when we were going live in an hour, but I low key kind of forgot to text you. It had technical difficulties.
So yeah, just go back and watch it. We'll see y'all next week though when we go over the prediction show. I think that's all good though. But we'll catch y'all on the Discord. Peace out, everybody. Go BYL.